For today's cooking segment of the show, we're going to make a warming fall smoothie. And the ingredients are cinnamon, ginger, medjool dates, hemp hearts, chia seeds, sweet potato. We have coconut milk, bananas, rainbow chard, and that's it. Finish up these sweet potatoes. And we're going to make a smoothie with all the ingredients. The reason that we've chosen these ingredients is because in the fall, when you're starting to get cold, a lot of these things are warming. It's also seasonal to have sweet potatoes and to have rainbow chard. Plus, rainbow chard is just really pretty. Look at how pretty this is. But that's not why we're using it. I just like it. So I'm going to start with the coconut milk. It's always good to start with a base. I choose coconut milk. Sometimes I make cashew milk myself, or you can use almond milk or any other milk that you choose. I don't drink dairy, so that's why I have coconut milk. You can find it at regular grocery stores. Now, ginger, I've already peeled the ginger. This is very warming. It's a little spicy, so you don't use too much. This is a little more than you might want to use your first time, but I'm used to it. So I'm going to go with this kind of 1-inch size chunk. Cinnamon, I'm going to take about a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, put that in there. Nice and warming. These are medjool dates, and they are so sweet all by themselves. You don't need to add any sugar to anything when you use dates. I'm going to throw those right in there. Now, these are hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are really rich in protein. I mean, really rich in protein. So if you're worrying about your protein intake, get some hemp hearts. They have all 10 essential amino acids, and they have omega-3s, which are kind of hard to find, and especially in a plant-based protein. Then we have chia seeds, which if you're from my generation, might remember chia pets. Well, a fun fact is that chia pets grew their grass from these chia seeds that were planted. Now, that might not make you really want to eat them right now, but I'm going to tell you that they're high in omega-3s as well, and they've got fiber, and they've got all kinds of protein. So this is a good thing to add. Sweet potatoes. It's like, what? Sweet potatoes in a smoothie? I know, the first time I tried it, I thought the same thing. But they're amazing. They make it just sweet enough. Plus, with the dates, you can't go wrong. A banana. Now, bananas make every smoothie smoother. I have friends who don't like bananas, and just sticking them in a smoothie, it doesn't taste like a banana shake or anything. It's just a little nicer, smoother, creamier. Now, this rainbow chard, as much as it kills me to take off these beautiful stems, it's just easier to blend them when you just have the greens. So, sorry. But here we go, sticking that in. I believe I have everything. Now, it might be a little thick, so I'm going to add a little more coconut milk at the top just to make sure. Now, I'm really hoping that my guest, Amanda, who you're going to love, I really hope she's going to enjoy this because she's into smoothies too. So we'll see what she thinks. So bear with me. I'm going to play with this machine. It's going to make a little noise. If you don't have a Vitamix, you should really look into it. Here we go. And that ought to do it. So I'm just going to pour out a couple glasses, one for me and one for Amanda. And you get to see her reaction when she comes and tries this. Look at that beautiful green color. If you can get over the color green, there is so much goodness in green drinks, smoothies, juices. Oh my gosh, this is so yummy. Okay, well, this is hopefully easy enough for you to try at home. And if you don't have a fancy blender, you just have a regular everyday blender, the only things you might have a hard time with would be the sweet potatoes and the greens. But you can try it. And just add a little, don't go overboard with the cinnamon and the ginger, but it really gives it a nice flavor. And it's warming. It makes you feel warm on the inside. So I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll see you in a minute, but we're going to find out what Amanda thinks about this yummy fall smoothie. All right, see you in a minute. So I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Amanda Komisarek. Amanda, before we begin, I made you a smoothie, and I would like you to try it. So
wonderful. Cheers.
Happy fall.
Happy fall.
Nice warming smoothie. Delicious.
You like it?
What sort of spices did you put in there? Did you put any spices?
Can you guess?
Well, cinnamon.
Yes, cinnamon is one.
I'm trying to cheat.
Oh, don't look at that. One more.
Is there chia in there? That's not a spice, but is there chia?
There's chia. Yes, she's good.
Nutmeg? I don't know. Ginger?
Ginger.
Yep. It's really
Fresh
yummy.
ginger root. Thank you.
Delicious.
I knew you'd like it because Amanda does a lot of smoothies on her own.
I do.
Yes, and she's also posted, I've seen a video that you made of smoothies.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
I know. Amanda is the Jane of all trades, so to speak. But I brought her here to talk to you all about herbs in general, because one thing Amanda knows more than anyone I know is how to use herbs to help heal yourself and to help calm yourself, and in the place of any kind of medicine that you might imagine. So, Amanda, why don't you tell us what you brought?
Okay, well, there's not a lot of herbs growing around here at this point because it's the fall. Everything's kind of dying off. But I did hunt around just around the studio before I came in, and I found some local medicinals that you can literally find on the side streets in your neighborhood and maybe even in your backyard.
Wait, so you just found this right outside of the studio?
Yeah, just around on the sidewalks. You have a yard that you don't spray and your neighbors don't spray, and it's a safe area. Then it's a perfect place to go out scavenging for herbs. So this is a really common one called lamb's quarters, and it can go pretty tall, really tall actually. And this one's not in bloom yet, and you want to eat it before it blooms. But this is one of the best mineral-rich and nutrient-rich plants that you can find around here. Even more protein and calcium and magnesium-rich than even spinach. And it tastes really good. So if you're not scared, Jen, and you want to taste a leaf with me, you can. I mean, certainly one leaf's not going to kill us.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
So especially good for women.
So you just eat it,
you
just
eat
as
it.
is.
And you can eat it, like you would spinach. So sautéed or like in salads and smoothies and things. So it tastes a little bit like spinach, wouldn't you say?
It does, yeah. It's like a spinachy texture.
And then this guy here is probably very well known to most of us. And this is the dandelion. So we still even have this is one of the first flowers that blooms in the spring, and it's still blooming. So it's pretty incredible that it has that long of a life. For the season. So the leaves are really wonderful for potassium and for lowering blood pressure and for flushing out the kidneys, so for balancing that out, flushing toxins. It's very supportive and it's really delicious. Again, it's mineral rich. It's best to eat it in the spring because right now it's going to be a little bit more bitter. It's the end of the season. Really yummy though as a green, similar to that of lamb's quarters. The blossoms are really great. You can actually infuse or cook it into like olive oil or sesame oil for your skin, for complexion. You can use the sap that's in dandelions. It's a little white, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a latex to kind of be a zit zapper or even a wart zapper. Works really well. And they're tasty as fritters, sauteed again in soups or stir fries, really delicious. Again, springtime, much sweeter than right now.
Wow. The only thing I've ever done with these is that whole head popped off.
Oh, exactly. I know everyone.
Mean little thing we did as
kids.
Well,
it's okay. I bet the dandelion appreciated the attention anyways. And then this little guy, I was really surprised to find because chickweed, this is what chickweed is, you can see this tiny little white flower, usually has gone by now. But this is another really super duper delicious green. You use it like sprouts. It kind of tastes like sprouts, so if you want to taste this one, I'll pass it your way. But it's a really lovely herb for moistening the body, like so joints and lubrication, also flushing excess fat and moisture from the body, so it's a great diuretic. It's good topically for cuts and burns and bruises, like in a first aid sort of situation for hiking or camping or whatnot. And it's really just yummy.
It does taste like sprouts.
Totally.
It's a very non-threatening taste.
It's true. And then we'll do this last one, which is, I'm sure a lot of people have something similar looking as this, and it has, the lovely thorns, the bramble that you kind of get caught in. But this one specifically, the 3 leaves, is red raspberry. And so I think a lot of people who might be familiar with herbs have heard of red raspberry for women's health. So it's a really great tonifying herb for the reproductive system, for women of all ages, but especially in the childbearing years. And it's great as tea. You wouldn't want to eat it plain because you've got thorns on it, but you could dry it and just make it as tea.
It's in all the pregnancy teas.
It is, in breastfeeding tea and things like that.
Yeah.
So that was all literally local.
So look at that, herbs in your backyard.
Yeah, it's true.
That's amazing. Yeah. So Amanda, do you mind sharing with us a little bit of how you got into herbs
Absolutely.
in general?
It was really on accident. I had studied over at UNH, and I was introduced to a place called Misty Meadows, which is in Lee, New Hampshire, and it's an herbal shop. And so I had heard of aromatherapy before, and I thought it was a little intriguing. So through the class, I said, I'm going to go take a drive over, and I went over, and they just happened to be taking applications for an apprenticeship, and I was like, well, why not? If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. So I signed up,
And then about a few months before the apprenticeship started, I actually was diagnosed with HPV and high-grade cervical dysplasia. And I was supposed to have a LEAP procedure done, or a laser treatment to cut off the first layer of my cervix, which didn't feel right to me. And so in lieu of that, I asked, how much time I had to play around with alternatives, and they gave me 3 months. And so I called Wendy over at Misty Meadows first to see if I could get a consultation with her. And she wasn't around, wasn't available at the time, she was pretty booked. So I sought out an Ayurvedic practitioner, which is a really old form of health and well-being from India, and did that sort of treatment for 3 months straight with herbs and cleanses and things, and was completely clear of the HPV and dysplasia, just like that.
Didn't need any procedure.
Didn't need any procedure, and it was kind of the springboard into the herb world. Started the apprenticeship, fell in love with it, and I just keep on studying because there's so much to know about herbs. So.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know, because if you study a little bit about what those procedures are, they can later complicate if you want to have children.
There's always that, that possibility, and it's one of those things that you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons out, and it seemed like I was just cutting off a problem, which can help in a quick fix manner, but I was really looking to figure out why it was happening and to kind of treat my body in a holistic manner, especially if I was going into wanting to study about it. I was like, let's start walking my talk now.
Absolutely.
And it was scary, but it ended up working out, and it was very empowering. So
that's wonderful. Yeah. Well, I love that story. I've heard it before because I've known Amanda for a little while.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to share these stories with the public.
Absolutely.
Because I find that a lot of people think of herbs as something that's out of their reach. They don't understand it. It's scary.
It's true.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. There's a lot of mixed information about herbs, all different kinds of herbs out there. And certainly there are herbs that are very powerful, and you need to be very careful about how you use them. But there are herbs that are really gentle, too. And all of these that we talked about there are very, very few contraindications or interactions at all. And mostly they're foods. They're just nourishing our bodies, and they're free. They're available to us in our backyard. Exactly.
Who knew?
So it's really about just educating yourself and finding people who know about herbs and who can support you along the way, because you always, you want that support, especially if you're on meds or have serious issues or, imbalances you're working with. You want that sort of support. But they're so much safer, I think, personally, from personal experience and with my clients. Just more easily assimilated in the body and gentler than a lot of meds can be. So it's a nice option.
So that actually is a nice segue, because I see you brought us something else.
Yes.
And you just mentioned your clients. So tell us what you do exactly with your clients and what this is.
I'm kind of a mishmash of lots of different things because I just love all of integral health options. But predominantly I see clients, they're called wellness programs, where I teach people. It doesn't matter what kind of imbalance is going on. It can be migraine headaches or just stress or depression or whatever. And they come in, and we do the whole health history. We talk about what makes sense for them for the first steps of making some shifts, because it's all about lifestyle changes. It's not just, I'm not looking to give you an herb and sending you on your way. That's allopathic to me, and that's not how I want to practice. So we talk about the lifestyle changes that can happen, the food, all about nutrition, that sort of thing, and then the herbs that can help supplement things along the way. So I teach people how to make their own syrup and teas and tinctures and even, healing salves. So they're not coming to me. They can do it on their own. And then, Reiki is also a part of the program, because energy work is really important to me, and I think important to clients, because you don't have to do anything. They just lie down and receive that balancing energy, which I think will often help peel back the layers of the deeper imbalances that are going on with people. Because often it's not just, the symptoms are just, the message.
Right.
And often we're really good at ignoring the tiny symptoms. So our body has to keep building them up until it's a smack upside the head of, okay, you can't ignore this any longer. We're going to make this really uncomfortable, so you have to look at what's going on.
Yeah.
So I try to kind of slowly peel back the layers in a baby step manner, so that people feel comfortable and they can do it on their own pace, because we're all so different, and we need to, do it in a way that feels comfortable for us and our lifestyle.
So it is a mishmash. It sounds like you really work with the whole person.
I do. I try to, and I'm just kind of the cheerleader and the supporter along the way, and they're, the people who see me, they're doing the work. I'm just here to teach and support, and so it's all about them. Yeah. So it's really about taking responsibility for your own health, and then allowing yourself to, be empowered and not ask someone else, tell me what to do. It's about what feels right to you and what works, because when you start feeling the changes, when you're making those little shifts, that's what's more empowering than that, to want to continue.
Yes.
So that's what I try to do.
So where tell everybody where you're located.
I'm the One Washington Center in Dover on the 3rd floor, the East Suites. And
That's wonderful.
That's where I am.
Go visit Amanda. She's
Yeah.
lovely. Now what is this?
Okay, so this is mostly elderberry syrup, and it's not super thick because I don't add sugar to my syrup because I feel like it's counterproductive. I do honey. This one does have licorice root in it to sweeten it, but I forgot when I was making it, so I added honey too. So this is really sweet, and I watered this down a little bit because I didn't want to blow your socks off with the sweetness. But you can actually take syrup straight, in a tablespoon morning and night, or you can water it down like this and make it more of like a beverage. So cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's lovely.
See, isn't it nice?
It's so
it's
easy.
not so.
I love the licorice taste. So
It is nice.
what is this good for in a nutshell? So that
Elderberry and licorice, well, predominantly elderberry is for cold and flu season. It's when you're feeling the first sniffles, it's when you're in the thick of it, and then after. So, I mean, this time of year, I just drink it every single day.
You do?
I do. Because
Just
it's,
in case,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's a great antioxidant-rich food. It's a berry, And then the licorice is, it's great for liver support. It's great for adrenal support and energy. It lubricates the gut to keep our toxins being flushed out, too. So, and it sweetens things. So it's a nice combination.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Amanda, for
you.
sharing all this wonderful stuff. I hope that you all learned something and that you find time to check out her website, which we'll put in the credits, and visit her if you're local in the Dover area.
That'd be great.
Now, I would love to invite you to do a little yoga with me.
I would love it.
Okay, well, before we do that, I have a
Okay.
little magic trick.
Okay.
My daughter, Daisy, doesn't know it, but I stole her magic wand. It's real magic. See? And we're just going to do a little abracadabra and change it to our yoga clothes.
All right,
Okay?
let's do it.
Let me just, I think purple is good. What
Purple's
do you think?
good.
Okay, ready? Do you have a magic word?
No, I'm going to let you go for it.
Okay, all right, we're just going to do, ready?
Okay.
Abracadabra. Poof. Look at us. Here we are. Mwah, ready for yoga. Thank you, Daisy. That's my daughter. All right, so here we go.
Excellent.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do. Okay, I like to introduce yoga to the greater public, people who may not go to yoga classes.
Yes.
So we're going to start off kind of slow today, and we're going to do a nice chest opening exercise, and we'll talk a little bit about it as we go.
Sounds great.
Okay, so why don't we get set up?
What is this I'm feeling?
Don't be scared to come close.
Wanna leave, I'm with it.
Now, normally, when you're doing yoga, it's really important to warm up, and that's why we talk about doing, last week we talked about doing the sun salutations. I usually do 10 sun salutations before I start my yoga.
Pretty good.
But today, we're just going to do one warm-up because, hoping at home you guys can do your own warm-up, and I'm just here to show you something very simple to do. So, assuming that everybody's warmed up, we're just going to stand with our legs. We'll stagger a little bit.
We'll stagger, yeah.
With our legs about hips width apart, hands on your waist or your hips, either one. And as you inhale, you're going to look up to the ceiling. And exhale, you're going to go down with straight legs, but not locked, as far as you can. And if this is as far as you can go, you stop. But if you can keep going until you really can feel the pull. Now, you'll notice that Amanda and I both do yoga, so we're going a little far. But if you need to stop here, that's fine. Let your hands drop down from wherever you are and keep a nice straight line that goes from your tailbone up to the top of your head. It's almost as if you have a rod that's holding you nice and tight. And just hold that. We'll hold that for 5 breaths. So inhale and exhale. As you inhale, you can look up to straighten a little more. And exhale, you can go deeper down into it. Inhale again. Exhale. And inhale. Can you feel yourself going deeper, Amanda?
I can.
A little bit closer to your knees. And then last one, inhale. Exhale. Now slowly come up. You can go one vertebrae at a time. Slowly, slowly. So your head is the last thing to lift up. And up. And do the head shake, fix the hair. Okay, now the next one, now that our backs of our legs are pretty warmed up and loosened up, we're going to take our hands and you're going to try to grasp your hands behind your back. And if you can't grasp your hands together like this, then you can just go as far as you can, or you can bend your arms. But what I'm going to have you do is try to straighten your arms. See if you can do that.
Now, if you'll notice, my hands are not together. You could clasp them together, you could keep them separate, you could just take a finger and do that. If you can't even get close, then just go like this with your arms. Whoops, there goes my mic. With your arms bent. Hold on one sec. All right, and then you're gonna, as you do this, feel your chest open. Put your chin up in the air. Inhale. And exhale. And just sit here for a second. And Amanda, tell us from the Reiki perspective the importance of opening your heart chakra.
Well, the heart chakra is all about love, which is maybe an obvious thing, but it's about unconditional love for yourself and all others. So opening the heart chakra really helps to heal all relationships and all sort of attachments revolving around love and what we think it means. So opening that up helps to release any blockages going on.
That's
energetically or otherwise. Yeah.
You'll notice while she's talking, I'm starting to go down, and you want to try to bring your arms back and almost imagine they're going to touch the floor behind your head, which, unless you're like a yogi who does this every day in a hilltop in India, it's probably hard to do. But just feel that stretch in your chest and your shoulders, and don't go too far. If you can only go to here, that's fine. It's perfect for you, wherever you're at. All right, now inhale and come up slowly, and don't let go of your hands until you get all the way to the top. And release, and exhale. Shake out your arms. How does that feel?
Good. The blood's flowing.
Can you feel it? I know. I hope you can feel that at home too. So, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. And thank you so
you.
much, Amanda, for
You're
coming.
welcome.
Yay.
Thanks.
And we'll see you next time for more food for your body and your soul.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.